Hi guys, here is the lesson 1 notes for topic 4. So if you haven't gotten the new packet yet, it is on the front table under the TV, new packet for you guys. So go ahead and grab that. It's a short one. There's only 4 lessons in this topic, and this topic is quite easy, usually one of the easier ones. So good one to go through quickly. Go ahead and take notes as I take them, just like we would normally if I were there. Pause it if you need to stop and write something down. Otherwise, just go through it as normal. The first 3 pages are notes, but they're going to be pretty quick. So lesson 1, we're talking about constructing and interpreting a new type of graph. So your learning target is going to be I can construct a scatter plot and use it to understand the relationship between paired data. So in lesson 1, we are specifically going to be talking about scatter plots. So all that is a graph with different points on it, really just scattered. So specifically, it is a graph in a coordinate plane that shows the relationship between 2 sets of data. So still a graph like what we're used to. It's just going to have dots plotted kind of randomly all over instead of maybe like a straight line, which is what we have been working with. So this first one, we're just going to practice quick plotting data, and then from there we'll go to kind of the new things we're going to talk about. So this first one is just telling us that it is talking about the year and the average price per gallon of gas at one specific gas station. So in 2002, it costs $1.32. In 2003, it costs $1.51. So we're going to label our graph. We kind of talked about this last week, that time usually goes first on the bottom. So this time we're measuring time in years. And then on the side, we're going to be measuring the price of the gas. So the first one is 2002. So they're using a 2 to market at $1.32. They kind of put that on the graph for you. 2003, it was $1.53. 2004, $1.81. Obviously, it's a small graph, so just do your best. 2005, $2.28. 2006, $2.58. 2007, $2.82. 2008, $3.24. 2009 at $2.32. So it actually just goes up just a little bit in that one. It goes down. 232, which we can talk about at a different time, reasonings for those. But so there's our points plotted, and we're just going to talk about what this graph tells us. But just a quick reminder how we plot it. Remember, this is our X, this is our Y, so these are the ones that tell us how far to go over, and these are the ones that tell us how far to go up. Then this data point here, right here, talking about giveaway entries, is talking about the age of certain people and how many entries there were for those specific ages. It says the data point represents the data in the 4th column. Columns go up and down. So there's column 1, column 2, column 3. Here's column 4. And the data is 13,9. It's important that you do not put 9,13. So the new thing we're going to talk about today is positive associations and negative associations. So we're talking about the different points on a graph. So I'm going to give you some examples of positive associations. What a positive association means is that the dots on the graph, or the points, are going upward as it goes over. So for example, this would be a positive association because as the graph goes on, the dots are getting higher and higher and higher. It doesn't matter where they start. So it could start way over here and grow super slowly, but it is getting higher and higher. Or it could start more towards the top. It doesn't have anything to do with its like starting point. It just has to do with are they getting higher and higher? Those are positive associations. So then the opposite would be a negative association. So wherever they start, the dots are going down. And again, it doesn't matter where it starts or how fast the dots go up or down. They could go down super slow. But as long as they're going downwards, it is a negative association. All of those. Because they're going downward, a negative association. So we're going to talk about that a lot as in this topic. It'll say like, what is the association? Positive, negative, that sort of thing. All right, flip it over, and then these are the last new couple vocab words that we'll talk about. A cluster, and luckily with this topic, all of this vocab is like kind of self-explanatory. So a cluster is going to be a group of points that lie close together. So looking at this graph to the left, if we were like, hey, where are the clusters? Like this would be a cluster, and this would be a cluster. Because they're sitting next. They're all kind of right within each other. They're in a group. That's a cluster. Then we have a gap, which is an area on the graph, that contains no data. So for example, this would be a gap. There's that spot that really has no data. And then the other thing we're talking about is an outlier, which is a data point that is offset from other data points. So here, this would be an outlier, and this would be an outlier. They're not really with the group. So really, our new words that we're talking about are positive association, negative association, cluster, gap, and outlier. And that's what our questions are going to be about. So this first one, we've got all these dots. A positive association would mean it's going like up. A negative association would mean they're going down. And on this graph specifically, they're kind of all over the place. They're pretty random. So this is going to be a no association. Okay, it's not positive, it's not negative. Where this one, it's clearly going upwards. So this would be a positive association. And then we're going to talk about strong versus weak. This one would be a weak association because they're not super close together. Like a strong association would be like if they're really close together as they go up. This one isn't. They're going upwards, but they're not very close together. So it's weak. All right, below it, let's practice plotting these points. So we've got 5, 1. So we're going over 5, up 1. 6, 0, 8, 1, 7, 2, 9, 1, 8, 3, 7, 5, and 5, 3. So with this one, I would argue it is probably a positive association. It is going up, but it's quite weak. All right, let's do it for this next one. We've got 5 and 50, 4 and 40, 3 and 30, 3 and 35, 6 and 55, 7 and 70, and 6 and 60. So this one is very clearly positive and it's strong. They're super tight, close together. All right, last page we're going to go through. This one is a positive association as they go up, but I would say it's pretty weak, kind of strong with some gaps. This one, again, it's a positive association. And this one would be a no association. You can't really tell if it's going up or down. And then these last two, these are just screenshots from your IXLs you're going to work on. I just wanted you to know what it's talking about. It's just saying, out of the 2 points that are highlighted, which one's the outlier? So they highlighted this point and they highlighted this point. Which one of those is an outlier? That would be this one. This is not an outlier. And then the one below it, this one is the outlier that's highlighted, not that one. All right, from here you've got a worksheet on the back, page 4 and 5. Quick and easy. You'll cruise through it, type your answers into the Google form real quick, and then there's a couple IXLs for you to work on. You'll have work time on those IXLs tomorrow, and you're going to cruise through them, so don't be freaked out by how many there are. Otherwise, you guys are good to go.